Fear
and faith
cannot exist
together.
Fear and faith cannot exist together. I was running high on drugs into the night. My stomach began to quiver. I didn't know what was before me. I didn't know what was behind me. All I could see was darkness. Fear surrounded me. In my mind, I didn't know what was going on. I could hear the door slamming as I walked in. I listened, and the sounds that I heard were so chilling. It sounded as if people were actually enjoying themselves. But I was afraid. In the night, I laid down. I felt anxious, cold sweat, nervous. Just didn't know what to think. My eyes wide open. And I thought to myself, some people say this is a cell. Some people call it a dorm. Some say it's their home. But I call it the fear.
As a child, I grew up in church, saved when I was 7 years old. And then as a teenager, at 12 years old, parents got divorced. And in the state of Texas, at 12 years old, you can choose who you want to live with. A 12-year-old gets to choose which parents they love more. A few years later, as a teenager, I get to choose the friends that I hang around with. Drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, this is what's supposed to happen, isn't it? You're a teenager. You're supposed to go out and have fun. I'm supposed to get pulled over for the clothes that I wear. I'm supposed to talk to people and they're supposed to tell me that you're not going to amount to anything. Depression. Do I even want to live? Am I going to exist any longer? Then what should I do? The military was the answer for me. Get out of the situation, get out of here, so that way you can go do something else. But will I still live up to that potential? Will I still make it to where I need to be, where I'm supposed to be? The fear.
Have you ever had feelings of being unworthy, unloved, and unwanted? It started with a phone call, and I remember listening to the other line in disbelief. I didn't understand how this had happened. It wasn't my fault, and so that made me feel trapped in a situation that I didn't want to be in. Overwhelming sadness, and I just felt numb at the moment, and I really didn't know how to take things. It really took me back to my childhood. You know, not having a dad, it made me feel insecure, and it made me feel abandoned almost, because he wasn't there. And there was just such a pain from that. I feel like I'm always in a losing battle with self-worth and insecurity. My biggest fear is the fear.
As a kid, I grew up in church. I knew everything I was supposed to do. I knew that I wasn't supposed to drink. I knew that I wasn't supposed to get involved in drugs. And I knew that God wanted me to keep myself until I was married. As I became older, I felt like, you know, I want to be married one day. I want to have a family, but I knew the way God wanted me to go. But, you know, the older I got, the harder it became to see God's purpose. I felt like, you know, I'm getting too old. Like, God, what is going on? I'm waiting on you. Like, where is this person that you're sending for me? You know, you told me to live my life this way, and if I, you know, delight myself in you, you would give me the desires of my heart. And I felt like I was delighting myself in you. I was coming to church all the time. I was involved. I went to Bible college. I was, you know, involved in ministry and trying to mentor girls up under me. But even though I had this, I guess I could say it was a facade, as if everything was good and I was happy, kind of deep in my heart, I really wasn't happy. I felt like you had kind of forgotten about me. You know, I'm doing everything I can, but he hasn't sent me anyone, because in my head, the desires of my heart is to be married. And now I find myself at night, you know, crying about being by myself and fearing that, you know, I'm never gonna find anyone, or you're never gonna even send anyone for me. And so I began to take matters into my own hands, and now I get myself into a situation. I messed up. I remember just having anxiety about going before my parents and going before the pastor and going before my family and letting them know that I wasn't successful with keeping myself, because that's something that I, you know, was proud of myself with. Like, I knew what I was supposed to do. How was I going to tell everybody, well, yeah, I knew what I was supposed to do, but I was going to be having a baby. Now what am I to do? My greatest fear.
The fear
My biggest fear is the fear of rejection.
of the unknown.
Of living up to my potential.
The fear of becoming a single mother.
Fear and faith cannot exist together. So whether it comes in the form of the unknown, or in the form of not meeting somebody else's standards for your life, or it could be rejection. Fear could come in the form of becoming a single parent. Whatever the situation is, we all deal with fear in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's normally disguised as being confident or even pride. Sometimes fear can be even disguised as a drive to accomplish some type of goal. But no matter what the root of the issue is, the underlying concern of that emotion is fear. And struggling fear is actually quite normal, but there's a way to overcome it. We overcome fear with faith. And since fear and faith cannot exist together, then you establish faith by establishing a relationship with Christ. So join us on Easter Sunday as we continue our series, Fear versus Faith, the Battle of the Mind. During this series, you will get a chance to see how certain people in the Bible, yes, even Jesus, dealt with fear on certain occasions, but how they all overcame it with faith. So 10:30 Sunday morning on Easter, I'd love to see you here at New Beginnings International Church as we continue our series, Fear versus Faith, the Battle of the Mind. Look forward to seeing you that Sunday morning. God bless.